right, so yeah, last night I arrived to my new hotel in Amsterdam City, like in the city itself. And so the work trip's over. I just landed in my other hotel right outside Amsterdam City. And I just kind of like wanted to reflect a little bit on what this work trip was like, right? Actually, look at this. This is, don't mind the hat and the tank top. I just got out of the shower, but if I could show you guys, this is my room. Literally like right next to a horse farm. If you guys can see that or not. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted, now I actually had some time to talk about this, and I just wanted to kind of, like I said, reflect on the business travel, right? Because, yeah, it's been a lot. I initially, I thought I'd be able to get a bunch of clips and film day by day, but it was a lot more than I anticipated, right? I knew I was signing up to travel to meet the team over here throughout Europe, and I left Tuesday. We flew over Tuesday throughout the day, and we arrived Wednesday morning in Amsterdam. Literally straight from getting off the plane, we grabbed a sandwich for breakfast, grabbed a coffee sandwich, got our tickets for the train, jumped on the train out to Arnhem. That was about an hour ride, give or take. We got lucky because the day before, some of the other team flew in, and they were running a strike, right? The trains weren't running, so they had to take an Uber. So we actually got fortunate in that respect. But anyway, we got on the train, we hopped into Arnhem. We tried to check into our hotel early so we could possibly brush our teeth or get a shower or the normal necessities, so to speak, and we couldn't. The place was booked. So they gave us like a changing room, and the changing room happened to be where they do the massages, the sauna, all that stuff. So it was so hot, and I typically run hot normally, just everyday life. So I was already sweating when we got in, and then we go up there, we go change. I'm pulling on pants. I'm throwing on this like sweater polo that I had, because I figured we're going to like Amsterdam, it's not Florida, so I looked at the weather, it was supposed to be like 50s to 70s. I was like, that's no problem, I should be able to get away with that. Well, I was wrong. I was literally dying trying to get ready, throw on all that stuff. We were brushing our teeth in the sink. We had like 5 minutes to unpack our suitcase, put on all the clothes, brush our teeth, wash our face, change, etc. And then we were off to the office, right? We had to go downstairs, grab an Uber, head into the office. We're halfway through the day doing meetings and spec work and everything that entails, and we're watching this presentation, and I can feel myself just starting to like disconnect from reality, right? Because at that point I would say it had been like maybe 18 hours, 19 hours going, 19, 20 hours going no sleep, because I got no sleep on the plane. We are having this presentation, I'm starting to zone out, and I get up, walk around, grab a coffee or whatnot, get back in the game, get my head back in the space. Long story short, that leads to directly from work going out to have an office dinner, like everybody from the Arnhem section, Netherlands, blah blah blah. So we have like this table of 15-20 people, and something I noticed like coming to Europe, dinners are not taken lightly, whether it's a team dinner, business, casual, family, whatever. People sit there for hours. It's not like the States where it's boom 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 boom, eat, get your food, bill, leave. Like, you're not pushed out of the restaurant, none of that. So we were there from 5 till like 8:39. It was great, it was amazing, like, don't get me wrong, but by 6:30, I was feeling it. I was really feeling it at that point. I was going on, at that point, I was going on 28 to 30 hours of like no sleep. So it was definitely kicking my ass. So yeah, I basically just called it a night there, right? I said what I had to say to the team. Thank you for everything, so on and so forth. I'm just gonna head out and get some rest. I was initially I got a text from everybody else that they were going back out to grab another drink somewhere. I was gonna go inside, shower, lay down for like 5 minutes just to kind of like rejuvenate for a second. Yeah, and I'm sure you know how that went. It didn't, right? Like I laid down for 5 minutes, and that 5 minutes turned into not waking up until 7:30 in the morning when my alarm went off. So that was day one, right? Day two, it's my birthday. We go into the office. We're just doing work. Like I feel good. You know, that sleep really helped. I feel back in the game. My head feels clear, so on and so forth. We get into the office. We're doing work like a normal day. Still don't know everybody to the extent that I would like to, to know everybody, but we move on with the day. Had a few presentations on a few different things, and I am in fact surprised with the birthday cake. I come out of one of the rooms, and everyone is standing in a circle. You know, the whole rah rah shish boom bob birthday stuff. They had a cake on the table, which was really nice. You know, I never met these people face to face, not any of them, and a handful of them I've had Zoom calls with, very brief Zoom calls, maybe once or twice. So it was really nice to see that somebody halfway across the world actually like cares about stuff like that. It was really nice. So we did that. We had our cake. Fast forward to the end of the day, we're all leaving the office, and of course we go out for dinner and drinks. Well, actually we went back to a rooftop bar for some drinks. Started off there, had a good conversation, got to know everybody a little more, like on a personal level. I think 1 or 2 beers we had, I think, and then we moved on to dinner. Dinner was, where did we go that evening? Okay, yeah, it was really nice. We went to this place that was right on a river over here, because everything in Amsterdam is connected basically through rivers. So we went there. It was a really cool atmosphere, really cool. There was, something that it almost reminded me of like an upper scale food court, because you could basically, you scan your phone, you scan the QR code, you could order anything you wanted, right? For the most part. They had Asian cuisine, they had Dutch cuisine, they had Italian cuisine, they had everything. And it was kind of like in like this horseshoe. So each section had, its own cuisine. So, which, like I said, it was pretty cool. It was something cool to see. But sitting outside on that river, it was beautiful. And it's weird because over here, the sun doesn't set until 10:30, which I don't know, I've never experienced. The closest I experienced to that was like 9:30, and that was in Michigan. So everybody goes out, and it doesn't start getting busy until like 8:39 at night. The tables start filling up, and everyone's partying and having a great time. Like it's 6:30 p.m. Which I don't mind. I kind of actually like that it stays brighter later. It doesn't give you that feeling that it's getting late, so on and so forth. But by the end of that night, we were all kind of like starting to get to know each other. And then the last night, we just did the same thing. Friday, we went into the office, went and had lunch. We left early on Friday evening. And at that point, a lot of people were leaving, right? They were going back to their respective countries or whatnot. And there was still like a core group left. And we went and got food and drinks again. And that was probably the best night, I would say, because it's a smaller group of people. So there's more like one-on-one interactions and really kind of getting to know people on a personal level, which was nice to see, right? Because the people that you interact with at work, it's very, there's almost like a facade to it, right? You have to portray something, this business normalcy, and it was nice to see like everybody kind of like let down their guard, so to speak. Saturday morning, I'm traveling, which was yesterday. So I'm traveling back from Arnhem into Amsterdam, and 2 of the guys that I was with were flying out in the evening. So I come to the hotel, drop my stuff off, and meet them back down in like Amsterdam Central Station, where like everything's happening. And we're running around, but we go into all these different places and seeing different things, just experiencing the life in Amsterdam, which was really cool. I like it. Today should be better. Yesterday, I was out running around, like I said, all day. Like I was at by the end of the day, I was 25,000 steps. My feet were smoked. So we just kind of like experienced the city, and we went to the Palace, Amsterdam Palace or something. I got to do Anne Frank's house yesterday. But yeah, we kind of did dinner, or like an early dinner, and then they caught their flight. But that's when I was able to walk around the city by myself, leading up to the Anne Frank house. And yeah, I came back home. Like I stopped at a market and got some chocolate and like a pre-packaged like dinner, which was out of this world. Like it was so good. And speaking of out of this world, when we went to the dinner that we did yesterday, when we were walking around, I got chicken tenders because I didn't want to fill up. I wanted to like experience different food around the city, and oh my god, probably the best chicken tenders I've ever had. I don't know, like at least the ones in the US that I get, a lot of them are tough or crunchy, like depending where you go. These literally, like, they were like butter. They like melted in my mouth. They were so good. But yeah, the food is definitely way better over here. Way better than the US. I know that, right? I know the preservatives and all the other different things that they allow in the US in the food that they don't allow here. But I guess that was the first time that I really kind of, felt it or experienced it. Like, wow, this is completely different. And yeah, but I should probably get started with the day, and we'll see where it goes.